The morning after our first storytelling class, I had a dream that I was at a social event where I saw this beautiful woman in a gorgeous plaid tweed high-collared coat. When I woke up, I knew it was an inspired design, something I had never seen before. So I hopped out of bed, rushed to the bathroom, and tore open the drawer where I keep my sketchbook to quickly record my best representation of the coat before it faded from my memory. As I sketched, I felt so full because prior to storytelling, the flow of ideas had paused. I was too mentally exhausted to feel inspired, living in a state of overwhelm as I attempted to make all the parts of my life work. I'm a single mom of a tween, so there's school stuff, ex stuff, and frenemy stuff. I'm an entrepreneur of a growing business, so there's rebranding stuff, marketing stuff, and copywriting stuff. And I'm finally ready to launch out on my own with my little girl, so there's financial stuff, personal development stuff, and therapy stuff. Things shifted after that first storytelling class. I was so mentally stimulated that my creativity woke up. Each morning, I arise with fashion design ideas and new children's book ideas, t-shirt designs, and songs. I now keep my sketchbook close to my bed to capture fresh ideas long before they float away, and my phone under my pillow so I can record melodies that have never been heard. Of all my passions, I'm most excited to reclaim fashion design. As I review my timeline of memories, I realize that fashion design has been waving from the sidelines my whole life. My mom taught me to sew at 9 years old. My first solo sewing project was a yellow jogging suit for Barbie. I was so proud of it. I masterfully traced her arms, torso, and legs onto an old pair of golden sweatpants with a thick black permanent marker. I cut her top and pants expertly, and my hand sewing was impeccable. I even raided the kitchen's junk drawer to find my mom's collection of treasures the mailman left behind, a stash of gigantic tan rubber bands. I cut them up and sewed them into the wrists, waist, and ankles of her suit. Despite the black magic marker along the outside of the seams, Barbie had never looked more sporty. At 12, my best friend Rhonda begged me to attend a 2-day fashion design workshop. Although my idea of fashion in the early 90s was buying 3 pairs of solid colored jeans to match one floral patterned long sleeve shirt, I agreed to the obligatory clause of our standard friendship contract. I felt completely out of place as we toured Chicago's Magnificent Mile and aged in dog years as we spent way too much time in Saks. She was in heaven, I was in hell. However, on day 2, as we toured a fashion design school in Chicago's Merchandise Mart, I discovered textiles. In that classroom, I witnessed how fabric was made. I watched the students become gods as they created what I never realized needed a creator. That was the day I fell in love with fashion. You would think that from that day forward, I just knew fashion was my destiny. Nope, I'm Jamaican. Being a nurse was my destiny. A couple of degrees later, however, I did decide to give it a try. I got into a fashion design program at a school downtown and knew that I was finally making the right decision. My fiance, who became my husband, that is now my ex-husband, did not agree. Woo! My first day of class, as I glided through our apartment on the happiest day of my life, he sighed and slammed doors and with a glare of utter disgust grumbled, "How are you getting to school?" Hey, determined to let nothing steal my good energy, I smirked and replied, "Well, I guess I'm taking the bus." I said goodbye and walked to the bus stop. I didn't even think twice when I saw our maroon Buick Century do a U-turn in front of me as I stood waiting on my CTA stretch limo. I was eager to get to school and immerse myself in the world of fashion. I expected to meet other students who knew as little as I did. Nope. As I sat in my introduction to fashion class, barely knowing how to sew in a straight line, two ladies discussed their previous degrees in fashion and how they were taking the course as a refresher. With each syllabus I received, my anxiety increased, but I was still excited to be there and could hardly wait to get home and share the details of my first day with the man I loved. I walked in with a, "Hey, honey." He met me with a guilt trip. "You know, I cried as I drove to work this morning when I saw you on that bus stop. I just couldn't believe you enrolled in school." As he went on and on and on and on, all I could think of was how hard my journey to graduation was going to be, how behind I was, and how hard it would be to study at home for the next 2 years with his negativity. I pushed myself as hard as I could, but the discouragement was so heavy. I dropped out with only 1 week clocked on my journey to reclaim my dream. About 2 months later, I discovered I was pregnant. I chose to focus on the life growing inside me rather than on the dream I'd left to die. I'm one of those annoying, look at the bright side people. So I figured that it all worked out because being pregnant as a student was not going to work for me anyway. Becoming a mom and wife became my life focus, and I let my fashion dreams return with my sketchbooks to the closet shelf. A few weeks ago, a relative asked my now 9-year-old daughter what she wants to be when she grows up. With no hesitation, she said, "I'm going to be an artist, a fashion designer, and a basketball player." He scoffed and said, "You need to rethink that being an artist because they don't make any money." I was livid. I jumped in immediately and said, "You don't tell a child they can't be what they want to be. That's not your place to crap on her dreams." She rushed from the room discouraged and burst into hysterical tears. I did my best to diffuse the discouragement bomb he just dropped in her lap. But I know that the words he said really got in there. I said to her, "Some people don't believe in themselves enough to do what they were created to do. So they go around discouraging others who do believe." What he said is not true. He's an idiot. And some other choice words. This February, I turned 40, and immediately my middle finger began to elevate, and I decided to grant myself permission to finally live. I now choose to be my daughter's example. She gets to be a witness as I embrace my artistic gifts, acquire the skills to utilize them successfully, and ignore the haters who say it can't be done. So the next time some insensitive idiot tells her who and what she can't be, she can look to me and say, "That's stupid. My mom is doing it right now." Which is why I chose today to announce that I am returning to school to pursue my degree in fashion design. And this is my coming out party.